Hello and welcome to another edition of Neil's Movie Channel. So far I've been showing you my Laserdisc collection, but in this episode I just want to do things slightly differently. I'll just talk very briefly about a few current movies that are out, and then I'll show you some DVD pickups that I get from local thrift stores. So one of the movies I saw at the cinema yesterday, it's absolutely fantastic. It's Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. This won the Palme d'Or. It's getting a lot of rave reviews, a lot of Oscar buzz, all that kind of thing. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Bong Joon-ho, I've watched a number of his films before, starting with The Host, which I liked a lot. I didn't love it, I liked it a lot. I then did really like Snowpiercer, and I loved Okja. Thought that was fantastic. But yeah, Parasite may be his best movie yet. It doesn't have the kind of special effects that were in those previous movies. This is much more a character-driven piece, and it's superb. It's just so well written. It's to do for sure with social order and status and hierarchies, mainly centered around a wealthy family who are well established and a less wealthy family who wish to improve their condition and who gradually infiltrate their way into this wealthy family's household. It's superb. It's funny at times, it's squirm-inducing, it's riveting, it's so well written. That acting is superb. It keeps you guessing as to where it's going. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. So yeah, if you get the chance to see that, I mean, it's great to see, Korean movies doing so well in the cinema. You get to see them in the cinema, fantastic. So yeah, if you have the chance to see that, it's already highly recommended from other people, but I add my recommendation too. Parasite, superb movie. Another one that's still in the theatres is Ford versus Ferrari, James Mangold's adaptation, I guess, of the story surrounding Henry Ford II's intent to compete against Ferrari at Le Mans in 1966, and getting Carroll Shelby in to design the Ford GT40 that would compete in that race. Yeah, this is a great watch. It's really entertaining. It has an old-fashioned kind of film quality feel to it, but with very modern technology in terms of how the racing is filmed and the editing and realism of that. I mean, it's really thrilling at times to watch that. But again, this is a very character-driven piece, with both Christian Bale and Matt Damon putting in excellent performances. Yeah, James Mangold is a top director. He's always does really good work. Obviously, a lot of people loved Logan, great movie. But yeah, this is another fine work from James Mangold, definitely worth seeing. And the final quick recommendation, this one probably needs no introduction because it's already being heavily promoted on Netflix, and that is Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci. Fantastic, what a combination. So this is a mob story telling the story of Frank Sheeran, who was a hitman for the mob and who rubbed shoulders with Jimmy Hoffa. It's a long 3.5-hour movie that goes through a definite sort of character journey, and yeah, it's a very well measured movie, quite slow in its pace, but deliberately so. It's again very character driven. I'm not sure at the moment whether I love this movie. I think I will need to rewatch it. There were a few things which I found a little bit off-putting, a couple of moments where I thought the pace sagged a little. But interestingly also, I think how you perhaps connect with this movie may depend on how much you know of the time period. I was talking about this with my parents a short while ago, and they were pretty familiar with Jimmy Hoffa and the Teamsters strike and all of that time period, and also they're not so bothered about CGI or any of the technical aspects. They were just engrossed by the story and absolutely loved it. So that was great to hear. I'm really thrilled actually that they both really enjoyed it. For me, yeah, I'm aware of Jimmy Hoffa, I'm aware of that time period, but I don't know it in any great detail. So perhaps my connection with the movie wasn't as strong as it could be. I wanted to feel really moved by this by the end, and I wasn't. Although I did think that the final sort of half hour or so is quite poignant. So there's some very interesting points, I guess, to be made there about how a guy has lived his life, what it ultimately all means. Yeah, that was very well done, I think. The CGI in this, that's been talked about quite a lot, because there's a de-aging, because they used these actors across a significant time period, and yeah, that works really well. Although I must admit, I was a bit distracted by Robert De Niro's eyes. I just thought that they looked a little bit odd at times, but yeah, maybe that's just me. Again, like I say, my parents didn't notice that at all. They were fine with it. Joe Pesci is fantastic in this film. His role is a much more understated performance than perhaps we've seen from him in the past, but yeah, superb. Al Pacino is great at doing his Al Pacino stuff. There's several moments where he can just look at people, and it just cuts through them. It's always great to see Al Pacino. And Robert De Niro, I think his performance here is quietly measured. It's not the kind of aggressive performance that we've perhaps associated with him in the past, although it's a very violent character that he is. But his actual performance is quite measured. There's a lot of thinking that he has to do about his actions, his loyalties, his behaviours, and that comes across very well. So yeah, ultimately, it's exciting to see another Martin Scorsese film. I don't actually love it at the moment, but I do want to rewatch it and take more time to think about it. Okay, so that's it for the quick movie recommendations. But yeah, now I thought I'd just go through a few DVD pickups. So as well as my Laserdiscs, I mainly actually collect DVDs. I live close to thrift stores, which constantly have stock coming in and going out, and it's all very cheap. So yeah, that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy going around those and picking up the titles. So yeah, without any further ado, here we go. First up is The Imposters. I really like Stanley Tucci. I loved Big Night, and this movie reunites some of the same cast and crew. We've just been talking about him, but here's perhaps one of his finest, Robert De Niro in Scorsese's Raging Bull. This is a nice DVD edition. One of the all-time greats for sure. Akira Kurosawa's Kagemusha. Very pleased to find that. And here we have David Russell's Joy, once again with Robert De Niro. Yeah, I didn't love this when I saw it at the cinema, but I'd be interested to see it again. Here we have the lenticular cover, Star Wars, The Clone Wars. I've not seen this. I'm not too excited to see it, but yeah, it was $1 and I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I didn't enjoy the sequel so much, but yeah, this was a good adaptation, I thought. James McAvoy as Mr. Tumnus in this. Yeah, it's a good one. Passchendaele. This is a Canadian First World War drama. I've not seen this, so I'm interested to see what it's like. Jackie Chan, Mr. Nice Guy. I always like Jackie Chan, he's great fun. This one is not a great movie, but again, I thought I would get a copy for $1. Paul Greengrass's United 93, very powerful movie. Not seen this one, but it's Annette Bening in Being Julia. I really like Annette Bening, so I'm sure this should be of interest. And finally, another Jackie Chan, Rush Hour 2. I actually have Rush Hour and Rush Hour 3. I didn't have this one. I don't rate it that highly, but it's Jackie Chan, why not? Next up, First Man. This wasn't a thrift store, but I did get it from a local seller. Great movie. This was probably my favourite movie at the cinema last year. And finally, Justice League from the same seller. Now, this had quite a hammering from critics and the public, I think, but yeah, not a great movie, but I thought, yeah, I'll give it a rewatch. Okay, so there we have it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back shortly with the Laserdisc collection I titles, so stay tuned for that. And please do subscribe if you haven't done already. And please just let me know any comments you have as well. I'll be interested to hear them. Okay, thank you.